From the center of the universe in Lipsick, Wisconsin, it's the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
Hi, I'm Ed.
Hi, I'm Bob. We're with the Wisconsin Specialty Vehicle Alliance, dedicated to preserving our right to restore, modify, and drive our specialty vehicles.
And we're listening to Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
Hi, welcome to the 61st episode of the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast. I'm Tom.
Kyle.
And Al.
Holy crap, what a night we got tonight. But anyway, before we get started with that, what'd you do this week? Anything fun?
This week?
Yeah.
No.
Nothing, because it's freaking winter.
Yeah,
and
it's
stupid
a trick
outside.
question. Let's see, what do we do?
Yeah. No, there wasn't really a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it was 10 below. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
At
stupid.
least my classroom wasn't too warm for once.
Yeah.
Keep the kids
That was
awake.
nice.
And I see, too, that they got the snowmobile trails open, so the Brappers will be happy.
Yeah, some kids even drove the snowmobiles to school today.
Oh,
Really?
even better. So yeah, you know what? We got a hell of a show for you tonight. We have a interview with Sergeant Erica Ballweg-Larsen from the Wisconsin State Patrol. Answered a whole bunch of questions that we had sent in. And then also we have Joren from FX Window Tinting talking about all the things that they do over there in Oconomowoc. But yeah, it's going to be a fun ride.
It's a longer ride than normal, too,
yeah,
so
yeah.
get ready.
So with Christmas coming up, Al, what do you want for Christmas this year? We'll make sure Jane's listening.
Yeah, sure. What do I want for Christmas? Good Lord. You know, I never even gave it any thought. In my age, hell, I just like to live long enough to see the darn thing, you know?
Yeah, and Al is at that age right now that they make him pay before he goes into a restaurant.
It's true.
But yeah, anyway. But Kyle, what about you? What are you looking for?
I don't even know what to tell Mom yet for that one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
She's been asking me since last week.
Yeah.
I know it's been a little longer
What do you
than
want for
that,
Christmas?
but
What do you want for Christmas? For me, like Al said, I just want to make it till next year. I don't care. Stuff doesn't really matter anymore.
No.
It's more about doing this kind of stuff. We enjoy the hell out of this podcast, and look at the people that we've gotten to talk to. Like last week was Mark Martin. Tonight we had a State Patrol on, and, we've had so many fun people on here. And if you get a chance too, while I'm thinking about it here and just mindlessly rambling, Joe Coddington, I posted last night where she has a new book out. So make sure you guys check that out.
so we
Joe
have
is a
few
big
books
fan
to
of the
add.
show.
We should have a
Yeah.
Hot Rod Tuesday book list at this point.
Yeah, we should do a Hot Rod Tuesday
Because we have
book.
quite a few of our guests have had books out or have books coming out. Not our own book, but a book list of people that we've had on.
No, we should have our own book.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Wouldn't
hell
that be
you
fun?
say.
Yeah.
Get your typewriter out.
Remember how that, like when Hot Rod Tuesday started, we had it was like a no ma'am group. Yeah, girls weren't allowed in the garage. It was actually fun back then, but then it turned into too much of a sausage fest and kind of ruined all the fun. But anyway, shut up, Al. We got a hell of a show for you tonight. We talked to Sergeant Ballweg-Larsen for quite some time. She answered all of our questions. That was kind of fun, too.
And then some.
I enjoyed it. Very, very informative. Answered a lot of the questions that, the common things that we hear at car shows, especially things that regarding hobbyist plates. I think that was very much cleared up.
Yep.
And, just equipment violations and things like that. But yeah, it was nice to have that official word instead of, oh yeah, I got pulled over and I have hobbyist plates. I don't have to worry about that or this or that and the other. It was nice to have that official voice saying what is really going on instead of guessing or
Right.
looking on Facebook groups and things like that. Because
Like she
Facebook
said
groups
that-
are terrible.
That AI summary on Google, that's not going to give you the right answer all the time.
Right.
And keep your questions coming. Sounds like she's going to be semi-regular on here.
Right. Yep. And she's a car person too, so that makes it even better yet. So yeah, if you guys got more questions for the State Patrol, just let me know. You can send them to us at hotrodtuesdaypodcast@gmail.com. Message our page on Facebook, the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast page, or you can text me at 920-306-1411, and I'll make sure I get those questions. We'll save them for her for the next time she comes on, and if it needs to be answered before then, just let me know, and I'll get a hold of her, and we will get your questions answered for you. So tonight we want to talk a little bit about our sponsors for the 2026 Hot Rod Tuesday car show season. So the first one is going to be Precision Stripping and Tires from Raceville. This is Paul's first year sponsoring the car show, and he stepped up. Thank you very much, Paul. We couldn't do this without you. The next one will be Bruce's Classic Restorations LLC from the Slinger Metro area. Bruce was a sponsor last year, and he came back again this year because between him and his wife Chris, they have a lot of fun at our shows. The next one is going to be M&S Fabrication out of Juneau. Bob and his team have put furnaces in both sides of my house, and they do HVAC and all sorts of different fabrication type stuff. And he's also a huge car guy. Him and his wife Kim, they come out to our car shows. I think they've been out to the very first one, and I've known those guys forever. And then Dodgeland FFA alumni, they helped us out a little bit too. With we look at all these bands and everything else, prices are going up. Prices of putting a show are going up, and a lot of times our 50/50 doesn't cover it. So thank you guys for stepping up. We really appreciate it. And so if you guys want to help out, let us know. Like I said, just give me a call or give me a text at 920-306-1411, and we'll find a place for you to help out. And I guess with that, here's Sergeant Ballweg-Larsen from the Wisconsin State Patrol.
I got a star on my car and one on my chest, a gun on my hip and the right to arrest. I'm the guy who's a boss on this highway, so watch out what you're doing when you're driving my way. If you break the law, you'll hear from me. I know I'm working for the state. I'm the Highway Patrol.
Hey guys, here's the episode you've all been waiting for. We have Sergeant Erica Ballweg-Larsen of the Wisconsin State Patrol. She's going to answer your questions that you guys have sent in. So Erica, welcome to the podcast. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
So, got a couple questions for you before we get to our actual questions. How long have you been with the State Patrol? And what's your current role with the State Patrol, too? I'm sorry.
No problem. I've been with the State Patrol for 11 years. I'm currently a sergeant. I was promoted back in October of 2018, and I work out of our Southwest region, which is down into Forest.
Okay. And what areas do you work then? So you're working out of DeForest, but what areas do you enforce then?
So I currently supervise the troopers in Dodge, Iowa, Greene, and Lafayette counties. And I also, our region itself is 15 counties. So when I'm the regional supervisor, I could be anywhere between La Crosse and Beloit and all the way over to Iowa.
All right. So then you would say that Dodge County probably has the best drivers, right? I'm just kidding.
They do.
You really don't have to answer that. Hey, and while I'm at it, we do have 9 events coming up this summer. First one being on May 5th. When you have your troopers out or you are out on patrol on those Tuesday nights, they're more than welcome to come in here and just check out the car show, walk around, get something to eat. We'd actually appreciate them guys coming in. Sometimes when they drive by slow and look at the show and think, God damn, I wish I could be in there, it makes it a little bit harder for the rest of the guys. They're going, why is he driving so slow? I said, because he's a car guy and he likes car shows, just like everybody else. But I just want to extend that invitation out to not only your guys, but the guys in the county, that they all can come out here. We'll make sure that they have unblocked parking. And, just stop in, check out the show, walk around, get something to eat, and then they can get on with their day. So
I'll buy you
awesome.
a beer.
Yeah, you're funny. But I appreciate the offer. As it gets closer, keep me in mind and let me know about it so I can make sure that we have somebody to come over there to it, and maybe just have them specifically assigned to that for the night.
Oh,
that'd be fun too.
There you go.
It would be, yeah.
Get a car show parking spot right in the front row.
I would do that too, just for the what's the word I'm looking for? Educational side of things, so people can ask.
We would
ask
definitely. Yeah, we would definitely consider doing that. I personally go to the Partyville Car Show every year, and they have a booth for me. I talk to people throughout the day, and then usually have another trooper there along with me. And then I also been at Iowa the last few years too.
Sure, yeah, we Kyle and I. Kyle and I ran into you up at Iola this year too, and
Yep.
that's kind of
Yep.
what sparked a lot of this too. All right, so let's get into the questions. The first
Sure.
one is going to be a lot of fun. It says, as a concealed carry member in Wisconsin, I found that sometimes during a traffic stop, it can be a slightly gray area with a concealed weapon dependent on the town or country or the certain officer conducting the stop. It's always been my personal policy to inform the officer as soon as he makes the initial contact with me at the window that I do have concealed carry, what it is, and where it's located on my person or in the vehicle. But I've also been told that you don't have to say any of that until they ask about weapons, as is the protocol. So I'm curious as to what the thoughts are on the proper procedure in that situation.
So I honestly, I personally like the practice of having your hands visible, telling me where the firearm is. And then when, throughout the contact itself, just making sure that they aren't reaching for things until they're asked to reach for things. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to probably leave the firearm in the vehicle with the person and not disarm them. But if it's somewhere where it might be a harm to me, either I might have them step out, just have me hold it for the contact itself. But I prefer to at least know where it's at, and see where it's at.
Okay.
Not visibly see it, not have them grab it for me, but at least explain where exactly it is.
Sure.
And then not reach for anything until I ask them for different things, just for my safety. And typically when somebody has their hands up on the steering wheel like that, and if it's nighttime, a lot of times they'll even turn the light on inside, like the dome light on inside their vehicle, just so that we can see them. And I really appreciate that, because then at least I know what's going on in the vehicle, where their hands are at, because a dark vehicle is, you don't know what's going on inside the vehicle.
No, I can understand, yeah.
The other thing is, if somebody were to get stopped, just rather than panicking, oh my gosh, I got stopped, I have a firearm in here, I need to, I need to tell the officer about this. Well, just keep your hands up there. Don't make furtive movement or anything like that. You don't want to create a high-risk traffic stop out of something that's just going to end up being a simple contact where you're just going to be talked to about a violation and be talked to at the window versus an actual high-risk contact.
Sure. Yeah, that would, and I can see it both ways here, but I think it makes the most sense to just, like I said, keep your hands where they can see them, and then just say, hey, I have concealed carry, and this is where my weapon is.
Yeah, give the officer a heads up,
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're just there to do a job.
Exactly. We want everybody to be safe.
Right.
And if they already have it in the vehicle, they know that, so we don't even have to ask for it or have to ask about that. I mean, we're going to have an assumption that their hands are up on the steering wheel like that. But it's just out of courtesy. So it's definitely appreciated.
All right, cool.
Then our next question here, I think, is from one of my high school students, actually. But they're asking, would I get pulled over for having my music too loud?
Yes, you can get pulled over for having music too loud. So there are ordinances on this, in where typically whatever municipality you live in or reside in or are driving through, there's going to be an ordinance on it. The county is probably going to have an ordinance on it as well. And yes, there is also state statute on this, so you can be stopped by a trooper for it too. So with that, the distance for it for state statute is anything greater than 75 feet.
That you can hear it. So the ones that
you can hear it.
So the ones that that like vibrate your car when they go next to you, those are the ones that they're probably going to get pulled over.
Yep. That when the vehicle vibrates, that's usually what we refer to as a clue. That it's closer than 75 feet.
Okay. All right.
Next up, I'm going to see if I can read this right. It says, the Trans 305 administrative codes, recognized as the extension to Wisconsin statutes by State Patrol when it comes to being recognized for modifications that we can do to customize, build, and request to title our vehicles in Wisconsin. I don't quite get that question. Did you write that?
Basically what they're asking what they're asking here is Trans 305, what you guys, is that going to be your go-to for what you do for when we want to get a title for their car? Like if it's let me just say this, like if a guy orders a 32 Ford out of a catalog, right? Or if he orders a T-bucket or something like that, is Trans 305 the administrative code that you guys go by to get the title for the guy that is requesting a title for this car?
So Trans 305 it's an extension of state statute. Yes. It's under for like equipment and things like that.
Right.
Is what it falls under. So as far as like modifications or piecing salvage vehicles together or building pit cars or things like that, yeah, like reference 305, reference statute 347 as well, and things that are under there to make sure that your vehicle is falling in compliance, not non-compliant, that they are compliant with the trans codes and also state statute. If somebody is modifying a vehicle or piecing together a salvage vehicle or building a kit car or anything like that, in order to operate them on the road legally, you need to then have a salvage vehicle inspection done. And even if the vehicle isn't a salvage vehicle, it still would need a vehicle inspection done to make sure that it's approved for the road. And in order to do that, in order to find a location, the Wisconsin DOT website, if you just Google for the Wisconsin DOT website or look on the Wisconsin DOT website for vehicle inspections, you'll be able to get a search result, and that will show all the different locations throughout the state. So it'll show our Wisconsin State Patrol headquarters throughout the state that have salvage vehicle inspectors, and also it shows that there are some counties that also have officers or deputies that are trained in this as well that can help out with this.
Okay. Yeah, and I know there was a lot of things going on in the state here a couple of years ago with a certain guy who had a 32 Ford. I don't have that stuff in front of me, so I don't really want to go through all that right now, but I think that might be where this question is coming from, is recognizing what the what's allowed, what's not allowed based on year and all those other things like that. I'm sure we may have a follow-up question for that, and if there is, I will let you know what it is.
Okay, I actually have a follow-up to that, though. So I not a vehicle, a 32 Ford, so to speak, but I just recently talked to somebody who had modified a vehicle, a pickup truck, a newer pickup truck, and had put a bunch of amplification. Actually, they modified it, but they also purchased it out of state with a bunch of amplifications that were on there. And in that state, it may or may have not been legal. They said it was. We don't know because I don't work in another state, right? But this gentleman had brought the vehicle up to Wisconsin, and it was not in compliance with Wisconsin state statute or Trans 305. And he said that he had done just a quick Google search of it, and he unfortunately went off of what the AI generated answer is and wasn't looking at where the URL was ending in. So there's different forums and stuff out there where people are talking back and forth to one another, but the actual guidelines are Wisconsin state statute. So make sure that you're looking at things that are ending in a URL that ends in .gov and not like a .com or an org. We the state statutes and Trans 305 and anything on the Wisconsin DMV website, it'll end in .gov. So those are the legitimate sources that that people need to look at and follow in order to make sure that what they're doing and building and amplifying, whatever it may be, changing, that it's falling within state statute so that they don't get in trouble for that.
Yeah, and like I said, once I get the follow-up for this, or if there is a follow-up for it, I will get a hold of you and we'll see what we can come up with for an answer, because I think it just basically comes down to, I think it's going to be with the replica and different translations of the words in the administrative code. But anyway, we're going to move on from that. This one's going to be more of a softball for you. So when you're on routine patrol, what kind of things do you look for? What piques your interest and think, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to that guy, other than the obvious?
I mean, what I like about this job, though, is no 2 days are different. I mean, I worked in a factory while I was in college, and I knew that I didn't want to do that, right? So every day is different. I mean, there's things that pique my interest, whether it's speed or equipment violations. It doesn't matter. And throughout the years, you kind of become a little bit more, you become smarter at what is or isn't allowed legally. And sometimes it's just education lessons. Like if you see somebody even at the gas station and just letting them know, like politely letting them know, like, hey, I just want to let you know that you could, I don't want you to get stopped for this. So talking to them about it, or even it might even be an education lesson on the side of the road for whatever maybe it's an equipment violation. And just explaining to those folks that, hey, this is what's illegal, why it's illegal, and where they can source it to, like by looking at the state statute and how they can fix it. Because unless that person's been stopped for the same thing multiple times, a lot of times things can get cleared up by just giving somebody a warning. Because some people genuinely don't know. Like they honestly might look at those forums, like I was saying, and go, oh, well, that's a cool idea. Or just because it's sold online or at the local store, hey, that looks cool, I want to put that on my car. They didn't double check that that's legal in our state. Because I've come into that before where, well, why can they sell it in the stores? Well, they want to make a profit too. So, and you can operate that vehicle then off highway, like off the roadway, and on a private parking lot, in your driveway, at a car show, and be just fine, but it can't be operated on the roadway. So sometimes, like I said, those traffic stops end up becoming more of an educational lesson. So
let me ask you this. This is going to be a little bit of a follow-up. Blue dots and taillights. Are you familiar with them?
Blue dots in the taillights?
So like it's like a prismatic little blue glass dot. I guess it's probably, what are they, probably 3/4 of an inch around?
If that.
And then they fit inside the taillight.
Yeah, right smack in the center of the taillight.
So when you step on the brake pedal, it turns what would normally be a normal brake light in red to like this brilliant reddish purplish look. Now, I know the rule is that you can't have any red or blue lights coming out the front of the car. My argument for it, now whether or not it's legal or not, I don't know. Probably not.
Here comes the fight.
No, but my argument, when I had them in my truck, I don't have them anymore. I ended up going with LED lights, which are a lot brighter than what I had. But there's a few times I almost got rear-ended because, taillights on these old trucks are not all that bright. So I had blue dots in there, and what it would do is people would be following me, and, oh my God, look at your taillights, they're so bright. Or they're so purple, and they're purplish color. So I guess, in that regard, it was actually a safety thing. And I think Ford did it in the 30s or something like that, too, to keep cars from getting rear-ended.
Why do you look at me like that, like I was there?
Because I thought you were the one that told me that. But I think, there's a lot of them at car shows and things like that. And in the interest of safety, I understand. Is it legal? Probably not. But in the interest of safety, it keeps cars from getting rear-ended. So what would your stance be on that? Say you pulled me over because my taillights were not exactly red, and I gave you that story. What would be your response?
My response would be what the state statute is and explaining why that's not legal. So I understand you might think that it's brighter to the rear or whatever. And actually, as far as displaying the blue colored lights, it's not just to the front. It's around the entire vehicle. Like nobody can have any other than like a law enforcement vehicle, which is the exemption to that statute.
Right.
They can only display the blue colored lights or lamps if they are used in authorized police work. Okay. So if that would be my explanation to that person. And sometimes, again, this might be that educational lesson that I was talking about, right? Where I stop somebody and go, yeah, you can't do that. This is why, and we need to get them fixed. And, either trusting that you're going to get it done or giving you a certain number of days to get that done, and putting it back to whatever the original manufacturer specifications are.
Okay. Good enough.
Well, speaking of things that catch your interest, what about the people that put their year sticker all over the license plate anywhere that has an open spot?
That's one
That's
of my
one thing that drives me crazy when I'm driving around.
It's like, oh, look, here's a good place for a sticker.
We're hiring soon.
There you go, Kyle.
You can help us out with that. I agree. So with that, to go off of that statute, so that is a statute. The on the rear of the license plate should be the month decal in the bottom left and the year decal in the bottom right. And it's
my God, we wish we could shout that from the rooftops.
And it's depicted right on the stickers that they
Yeah.
issue you
It's
annually.
right there in front of you.
Yeah.
Like I tell my students that are
So-
old enough to drive to make sure they pay attention to that because it drives me crazy. And I'll tell our school officer to go put something on their car if they do that. Okay. Our next question on here from somebody is, when I attend car shows, I have been told that cops won't mess with you if you have hobbyist plates. So is that true?
You know, it totally is dependent upon the officer, how the motorist is operating their vehicle, if they're driving recklessly, whether they're going to be stopped. If there's serious violations regarding equipment, such as like a view obstruction due to the engine being like too far out of the vehicle, or the tires being so big, or the vehicle's like now like a monster truck or something, right? Where it's unsafe and it could actually like drive over somebody. So there's actual like height regulations that the state has, and they're for a reason. We've seen that on the road, that somebody like ran over somebody else because, and they would have just rear-ended them, but instead now they either cause a serious injury or a fatal crash due to the vehicle being too tall.
Sure.
So if we see those things out there, some of the stuff, yeah, we get it. People are going to enjoy their afternoon or probably it's morning. You usually go to those car shows in the morning, but you usually go out to your car shows and you're coming home in the afternoon, but you're just traveling back and forth. As long as something isn't like egregious, like that they're not like doing burnouts or doing anything crazy and being reckless, as long as their vehicles, like I said, are in compliance, generally speaking, and not a huge safety concern. Like I said, the height or the view obstructions with that engine, or like modifications to like the wheels being super wide outside,
Right.
Yeah, they're more than likely going to be left alone. But otherwise, those other vehicles, they're meant to be trailered back and forth to car shows. And show those things off. That's awesome, but they need to be trailered. So.
Okay. Simple enough.
Okay, this question is getting away from the modifications. This person wants to know, on average, if you had pulled over 10 random cars for traffic violations, how many of them have drugs or alcohol in the car?
I could pull stats statewide, but I don't have time to do that now.
Just
No.
personal
Generally
experience.
speaking,
Yeah.
it totally depends on, I guess, the area that you're patrolling, though, too. I mean, if you're in a more like urban area, like the Madison or even Wisconsin Dells, Portage, Milwaukee,
Let's just say you're on
whatever
you're
it
on
might be.
you're on 151 on the Dodge County portion of 151. Just roughly.
Honestly, it could be. It could be any one of those vehicles could have that. I mean, I can't give you a number, to be honest.
So is it almost and don't take this the wrong way, but is it almost to the point where you think, yeah, this guy probably does? Just about every car you pull over, it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna, because like I said, I worked in corrections as Al did here for quite a long time, and you get to the point where you find the frequent flyers, and you're like, okay, this guy's gonna have something. Do you run into that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say from our agency's perspective, you don't usually run into the same people twice. Does it happen? Occasionally, but typically, like if we're working out on the interstates, you're not running into the same people twice. But you can see indicators and things like that when you whether it's the driving complaints that you might get from it, that more than likely that one, like that's a clue that your spidey senses start tingling, that if there's somebody calling in and saying that this person's all over the road, then more than likely that's going to end up resulting in like an OWI. But OWIs, though, can range from anything from alcohol, prescriptions, or, I mean, drug use, like illegal drug use.
Right.
So.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious because, going off of that question, if you watch any of the TV shows, Live PD, Cops, all the other ones, it seems like everybody they pull over has got dope in the car. So it's just kind of okay.
That's also, I mean, when you're looking at Live PD, they're stopping numerous cars throughout the night, and they're only going to put on there what's going to get them ratings though, too, right?
Yeah, I
so
guess.
They're not going to put the slow nights on there.
That's why you never see me on those shows.
Yeah, they always go to somebody else's camera when there's slow stuff happening.
Oh, you were just speeding? Oh, okay. And you got a clean record? All right. Cut.
Commercial.
All right.
That doesn't bring them views.
We only got a couple more questions for you here, so thanks for bearing with us.
No problem.
Is the 9-year fine, 10-year mine? Is that still an an unwritten rule for speeding enforcement? So, like, if you're in a 55 and you're going 64, you're fine. But if a guy's going 65, yep, we're pulling him over.
I laugh whenever I get this question. So no, it's not an unwritten rule. It's totally up to officer discretion. And I mean, there could be other things that are at play there too, but no, like that's totally, I don't know. Like I said, it's funny. It's funny
bullshit is what you're trying to say.
It's like when they always said my old blue uniform would turn blaze orange in the water if it went overboard. The old digital blue camouflage. They always get asked if it turned blaze orange, but I got what? It's like, well, I just came in from the rain. Is it orange yet?
But yeah, I've heard that, and I don't know where it started.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I've heard that too.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
It's catchy.
Yeah, fun rhyme.
Like
9-year fine, 10-year mine. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and I've heard that 1,000 times before. But then I also remember my dad getting in an argument with a guy. The guy was saying that you can get pulled over for going 56 and a 55. Now, this was back when the old speed limit was 55. There was no 65. And my dad argued, they aren't going to pull you over for that. But the other guy was like, well, they can. But they're not. And it got heated there for a bit too. And I was like, holy crap.
That's back to that whole officer discretion thing. So yeah, could they? Sure. Are they going to? I mean, well, it's up to that officer. What else?
Only in
is going on?
Sorry, did I say that?
Yeah. Don't drive through Rosendale for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So simple enough that it's all officer discretion.
Yeah, our next one on here. Do you have a quota of tickets per month?
That's also a funny one. No. We do not have quotas. The general public expects us to work, right? We're not going to just sit in our cars and do nothing. So that's what we expect of our staff. So is that they're going to be working. So whether that is making traffic stops or working on reports because they arrested somebody or whatever it may be, but the expectation is that the officers, the troopers, the whatever, if I'm speaking for general terms of officers, deputies, troopers, like they're expected to just work. They're not expected to make a certain number of traffic stops. But the expectation is they're not going to also do nothing for their entire shift, right? So that's not what they're employed for. That's not what the public would be happy to hear, that they're just sitting in their vehicles and doing nothing all shift. They're expected that they're going to go out there and they're going to work.
Okay.
And sometimes you might see officers or troopers or whatever sitting in a crossover and they might not look like they're quote unquote working.
Oh, they are.
When you make a traffic stop, there's always paperwork that goes into it. So you're either issuing out the remaining stuff that comes with a citation, or working on an actual report from an arrest, or they might be just simply getting caught up on something and needing to work on like jury prep, or not jury, trial prep, because they might have a jury trial coming up.
Okay.
So that the billboard and the crossover, that they're maybe trying to just get voluntary compliance by being out there still, at least, and being out there. But sometimes, I mean, there's a lot of other things going on too. So
I can tell you this. You talk about being in a crossover and the voluntary compliance, because people see the squad car, they slow down. Years and years ago, I used to work on state patrol vehicles, and the amount of people that would slam on their brakes when I was coming the other way, like on a test drive, was insane. Do you still get a little bit of a giggle out of that when you see people slam on their brakes coming down the highway at 85, and then all of a sudden, oh God, and then they quick slam on their brakes and slow down? I mean,
I'm just happy to have voluntary compliance.
I'm thinking by the time you see the squad car, it's too late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I always got a kick out of that. I remember that with just driving a car, and because there's times I would have to take it out on 151 for whatever the problem was.
You just wanted to.
It was a Dodge Diplomat. It was not a fast car.
That just reminds me of Jeff Foxworthy, whoever that was, that said it's like a pace lap on the highway once there's a squad car out there.
Yeah. All right. So
what year was it? Dodge Diplomat.
It was a Dodge Diplomat. It would have probably been 87, 88, maybe in 89, somewhere's in there. Yeah, they were terrible, terrible cars. Terrible cars. Yeah, there was an old trooper that used to be here in Dodge County, and he retired about the time that I started working on those cars. And I asked him one time, I said, what was the biggest, crappiest car you ever had working for the State Patrol? And he said that he had a AMC Matador in like 1971, 72.
Matador?
A Matador. Yeah, he said he was
Lord.
driving through Ashippun or Neosho, somewhere over there, and the exhaust manifold fell off the side of the engine. Yeah, he said it was such a piece of crap. But yeah, it's just, yeah. All right, so
back on track.
Yeah. Here we go. Now you can have as much fun with this one as you want. Now all these questions are completely anonymous, but what's the best excuse you ever heard for someone trying to get out of a ticket?
The best excuse I've had.
Yeah, the
using
funniest.
the bathroom.
Okay.
Needing to use the bathroom. So, this is, I don't know, a couple of years ago now, but it's still just it resonates with me because it's kind of funny because like I was up by Oshkosh. This is when I was working up in Winnebago County, and this person blew my doors off as I was ramping on from highway, where was I at? 44. So I was merging on the highway, and I'm obviously not at highway speeds yet, but I'm getting on to 41, and they just they're blowing everybody's doors off and just flying by, and I'm like, all right, what's going on here? So I get behind them. Honestly, I can't remember their speed, but I know it was very, very fast, and it was faster than 70 miles an hour, which is the posted speed limit out there.
Right.
And I stopped them, got up there, and it's vehicle full of people, and they're like, there's some kids in the back seat, and they look back at me, and I can see them, and I'm like, oh boy. So I get up there, and the driver's like, I asked if there was an emergency, because I mean usually that's my first question.
Sure.
Is there an emergency? Because like that's a very if they're traveling that fast, I can't remember if it was 90 or 100, right? It was a few years ago, but it was fast, like whatever it was. And I asked if there was an emergency, and she's like, just need to get to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, well, we passed 26, 44, and we were approaching, I think it was Highway 21.
Yeah.
So I explained, she did receive a citation because that's not a warning. That's not. So she received a citation for that, and I explained where to go because there is an exit there. And I helped her merge back out into traffic, and then I exited actually at 21, and she actually kept going on, like kept driving north. And I'm like, okay, well,
Liar.
I guess maybe you didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or maybe you didn't have to go to the bathroom anymore.
Yeah.
Well, shortly down the road, up by the last exit for Oshkosh, that Jackson Street exit, Highway 76.
Yes.
She got stopped again up there for going well over the speed limit by another trooper, and that trooper didn't know that it was the same vehicle until he made contact with her and was like, I heard it, and I heard him air out the traffic stop, and I went up there, and he's like, I guess I'm like, what's going on? Well, she has to go to the bathroom. I'm like, well, she's just passed like 5 exits now. I'm like, no, I'm like, this is another citation, I guess. Like, that's 2 citations for needing to go to the bathroom.
Well, at what point do you tell her the county jail has a bathroom too?
Exactly. So she had a talking to after that again, not only from that trooper but me, and that was kind of the explanation of, okay, you need to drive like more responsibly because you have people in the vehicle. They're close to their destination, but not that close, and we want people to arrive alive. And speeding, it can be very dangerous, especially when you're on a highway, like interstate, I guess I should say, because you don't know what other people are going to be doing if they change lanes quickly in front of you suddenly, like, and you can't either control your vehicle, or there might be too much traffic, there might be something, right? And we want people just to be safe, and that's the compliance that we're looking for.
Highway 41 is a struggle about being safe. I got stories of that road. All right, one last question for you. And here again, thanks for bearing with us. We really appreciate your time here tonight. Why is it so hard to get a title for a vehicle that I've owned for over 30 years, but have lost the title? Why do I have to go through this bonded title process? I use a different word than process, I can tell you that. This bonded title process and spend a lot more money than I need to.
So do you have to go through the bonded title, or can you get a replacement title? That's I guess my question back to the person who posed this question. And I can't give a straight up answer though without, I don't work for the DMV, but I guess my question is does it need to be bonded, or could it just be a replacement title that you're applying for?
So let's just say it was this, let's just say his dad passed away and the vehicle belonged to his dad. And car's been off the road for a lot of years. Title's been long lost. And that, I think that's where he was kind of referring to this.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's something just stopping in at a local DMV and asking some questions about that. I can't give a great answer for that though. That's a process that I've been through even with my own family. So,
Sure. Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the best way is just to go to the DMV and ask them the best route to do it. And I know it's not easy, especially if it's been in the family for a long time. But I guess that's something that people could even consider doing is having their vehicles in like a trust, and having a trust set up so that if something were to happen to somebody, or even registering a vehicle with joint ownership, and having that and on there, or excuse me, or not and,
yeah,
and
or.
would. Not or, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Having an or option on the title, so that if something were to happen to one party or the other, like if it's a father and son, like what you're talking about, so that if something were to happen, now the vehicle's titled in both names.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about that. It's just that person already has ownership of the vehicle, and they can get sole ownership and the vehicle titled in their name that way. So in order to avoid it, I know that I've done that with some of my vehicles, because I've collector vehicles and things too. So
Wait.
No.
What do we have for collector vehicles? Here we go.
I spilled the beans.
You sure did. And why aren't you coming to Hot Rod Tuesday with them?
Because usually I'm busy. I'm either working or working. So I actually have a 1987 Buick Grand National. So that was my dad's vehicle. He passed away back in 2000. And that vehicle is how I inherited that vehicle from him.
I remember that car.
I've seen the car. It's a very nice car.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your father and I had a few run-ins in my younger years. And later in life, we got to be...
You had it coming, you rebel.
I did, 100%. He didn't do anything wrong. I was completely in the wrong, but, later in life, we got to be... I wouldn't say pretty good friends, but we get together and laugh every once in a while when he worked security at the raceway. We had a good time. But anyway, so you got the Grand National. That's wonderful. That is a beautiful car.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much so. So that'll go. I'm sure. Never mind. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
That's a first for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on here. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
And, if I would like to have you come back on again, maybe in a month or two, maybe quarterly kind of a thing, if you're all up for it, because I think this is going to be a valuable service to the people that are out there that have these questions. There's so many questions about what can I do? What can't I do? You mentioned engine sticking out of the hood. And there again, I think that's going to that's going to go back to the discretionary thing. If it's absolutely egregious and 3 feet above the hood, it's going to be one thing. But if it's...
That's reasonable. What are you talking about?
But I mean, there's just a lot of things that just fall on discretion. But sometimes people want to ask these questions and they don't know how to go about it. Or like you said earlier, is they're relying on what they read on the internet versus what's actually in the administrative code, which is... what the Bible is. I mean, that's what we're looking at. We're not going off of what Billy Joe Jim Bob says, what he can do in his state. We have to do what's legal in Wisconsin. And it's nice that we have you here that's able to explain some of these rules and laws for us. And once again, thank you again for coming on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. can I actually touch on a couple other things?
Yes,
that,
absolutely.
I know that you didn't bring up, but there's one thing that I want, I guess, your listeners to recognize and remember. Collector license plates. So vehicles anywhere like 20 years and older in Wisconsin can have collector license plates. But there's a caveat to this. They cannot be operated in January. And now that vehicles are lasting a little bit longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in pretty good condition and whatnot. And some of those vehicles that are 20-year-old vehicles aren't like what they used to be, right?
Right.
And people are operating them. We see it more and more throughout the winter, where normally a collector vehicle, like we're talking about that 32 Ford, or we're talking about a Grand National, or we're talking about, an AMC Ambassador. I know that might not be the best vehicle, but
probably is not.
those I guess are collector vehicles, right? Those things that you don't drive year round. But you're seeing, like I said, more and more motorists out there that are registering their vehicle because, hey, I've got a 2005
Chevy Silverado.
I don't even know. Chevy Silverado, actually. Yeah, you're right. A Chevy Silverado, and they have a collector plate on that.
Right.
Which awesome that you do. Because I had a 04 F-150 at one point, and I wish that I could still have that and have collector plates on it. But the vehicle, unfortunately, we live in Wisconsin. So if you were able to have something like that and be able to drive it, awesome. But just as a reminder, January is the month that they can't operate it in.
Okay.
So there are little caveats to the statute and everything, but you have to then register you would actually still have to register the vehicle. So I guess just have your listeners check out statute 34125, because that talks about the registration plates, transferring it like regular plates to that vehicle, but just as a reminder, a general reminder though, collector plates should not be operated, or vehicles with collector plates should not be operated in the month of January.
Okay, I got one question to follow up with that.
Yeah.
Now, is it legal to run the historical year of manufacturer license plates on a car as long as you have the correct license plates for the car inside the vehicle? So like with my truck, I can put 1953 plates on it, and that'll be okay as long as I keep my regular plates in the car.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is legal in Wisconsin. That changed up a few years ago. I actually was talking to somebody in Partyville this last year about that, and I had another trooper with me. He's not into like car show stuff. I grew up going to car shows and stuff, so I kind of am a little bit more nerdy when it comes to that. So we're walking around and talking with people, and I pointed that out to him that actually was something that was legal, and he looked at me and I'm like, yeah. I said that's something that's legal as long as they're carrying their other license plates in the vehicle with them, but they can operate it, and explain the statute and stuff to him. So I think it's actually pretty neat to be able to do something like that, and display it. And you're showing it off, and taking it to a car show. So why not show off the era of the plate that would have been displayed on that vehicle too?
Then, do the modern plates need to be shown from a window or something, or just in the car?
No, they just need to be in the vehicle.
Okay.
If you put them in a window, it becomes a view obstruction, and then you can get stopped.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't want to get all trooper on you, but let's not do that. Just keep them in the vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then let's say that, we talked a lot about this, and you made the State Patrol trooper sound like it'd be a fun job. You guys got openings, and what's coming out? What's all involved with getting a job with the State Patrol, whether to be a trooper or a inspector?
So yeah, actually we will be hiring starting next month. January 11th through February 15th is our hiring window. And so what the job all has to entail, there's a lot of cool things. We are specifically, though, traffic law enforcement agency. That is what we primarily focus on. So if there's folks out there that, are interested in traffic law, I'm not saying that we don't arrest people for other things. Yes, right. But if our primary focus, though, is traffic law. So when somebody says, don't you have something better to do? No, this is my job. So this is
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
This is actually what my job is. So regarding our process and everything, so it's our next class would then start in July of next year, and then graduate in December of next year, so 2026.
Okay.
The recruit class itself is 22 weeks long. The person that would, or people, if they get hired, they become cadets, and they are there Sunday night through Friday afternoon. They report Sunday night just to make sure that they're there so that they can start either doing PT or in the morning on Monday morning, or basically just so that they're on time for class, because classes start and run 8 to 4:30 every day.
Okay.
And they're there, like I said, Sunday night through Friday afternoon, released on the weekends to go home. And then after graduation, they go to whatever respective county that they would choose out of the academy. Choosing a county is based on how they do in the class and class rank. So hypothetically speaking, we got 30 people in the class. The number one student, so that's like academics, that's physical fitness and firearms. And there's other state patrol things also in there. But academically and those other things that are taken into consideration, they are all put in and have a cumulative GPA. So 1 through 30, they then choose through the positions that are available to them. And if somebody were to have to move, we do pay a moving stipend.
Okay.
And that's $1,000 moving stipend. And if they can't find a place right away, we'll put them up in a hotel for up to 30 days.
Oh, wow.
Cool thing about our job, we start mentorships in our driveway. We have take-home vehicles. So why do we have take-home vehicles? Because our agency is huge. I told you that we have 15 counties, right?
Right.
In just my region. So we have 2 headquarters in my region as well. One is in Toma and one is in DeForest. We don't expect our staff to drive all the way to either Toma or DeForest to then get a vehicle to drive back to whatever county it is that they reside in to service that county. If we need to be able to respond to something at the drop of a hat, we need to be able to go. And that's why the vehicles are assigned to us, and that's why they're at our homes.
Okay.
So if there's anything that results in like overtime, obviously you're paid beyond the time that, beyond that time. So that starting and ending your shift in your driveway, you're getting paid time regardless. So if you end up having to respond to a crash towards the end of your shift, you're going to get paid for that time.
Okay.
And yeah, this isn't a 9-to-5 job. So for sort of, I guess, folks who don't understand, I guess, the shift work side of things, that means that we work, like 24/7. So that's
Right.
the coverage that we have. So there's a potential for working overnight shifts. Yeah, you could work days or afternoons as well. And weekends and holidays are a thing as well. Not saying that you won't get some weekends and holidays and things like that. But you don't get every weekend off. So
Right. And
you don't get every holiday off.
starting pay is what?
Oh, let me pull that up here. Hold on one second. You caught me off guard on that. I want to double check.
I would assume it's probably going to be more than like $8.25 an hour.
Yes. So starting pay. As a new employee, so going to the academy, the starting pay is $34.35 an hour. After they graduate, so the academy is approximately 6 months long.
Yep.
They get a bump in pay, and that goes up to $35.14 an hour.
Okay.
And then at 7 years, the max pay right now at 7 years is $47.50.
Oh, wow.
But we are going into a new year here, so that means that this pay scale more than likely will be out the door soon, and we'll have something new to present for future candidates and our current staff as well.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you wanted to bring up? Oh, sounded like it.
Yeah, regarding, I almost forgot something. Oh my. So regarding our recruitment process, if there are people out there that are interested in this, in a job for us, so we actually have virtual recruitment sessions. Tonight was our first one. And they're every other Tuesday night from today through February 10th.
Okay.
So December 30th, January 13th, 27th, and February 10th. And they're from 5 to 7. If people are interested in that, it's on our website. So wsp.wi.gov or Google Wisconsin State Patrol. It's the first thing that comes up. And it's also on our social media pages. So no need to RSVP to those. There's a link on there. If you have questions, want to know more about the job, about the academy, about whatever it may be, jump on there. We have a recruiter that'll be on there that can talk to you. And they're, like I said, it's staffed from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Every other Tuesday night.
Oh, okay. So there you go. If you guys want to look, if you guys are interested in a job in law enforcement, that would be the way to go. You get the training and everything, and that still requires the, was it 60 college credits and things like that. So there you go.
Hey, good catch on that. I got so excited to talk about our new hiring process that I forgot to say about our minimum requirements. So yes, it is 60 college credits. No criminal history, a good driving record.
And a great mustache.
Not while you're in the academy, you can't have a mustache.
I'm just kidding.
And I don't have one of those. So
I would hope not.
I can't, yeah.
How about age limits then?
There is no age limit.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. So, as long as the person can pass the physical fitness requirements, so our physical fitness requirements are on our website. As long as they can pass those physical fitness requirements, there's entrance standards and exit standards. As long as they can pass those, they can get hired. So when I was hired 11 years ago, there were 2 guys in my class. One was 43 and one was 45 when they went through the class.
Oh,
and they're still working with us. We've actually had people that are, I think the oldest person we had recently was like about 47. So is it out of the ordinary for that to happen? No, absolutely not. And people shouldn't be discouraged by their age. If they can meet those physical fitness requirements, and that's something that they're interested in and just want a change of careers, yeah, apply. Reach out if they have questions. My contact information, if you either want to link it, like my email address. Otherwise, you can find my email address on our website, though, too.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, we're very excited about the next process. And, if there's anybody out there that's listening that's interested in it, reach out with those questions or jump on our virtual recruitment sessions with those questions.
Okay. Well, there you go. So not only did we get all our questions answered, we gave you guys all the opportunity to go out there and join in with these guys and help enforce the laws on the roads of Wisconsin and keeping people safe. So thank you so much again for coming on here. And like I said, we're going to try to get you on here a couple times throughout the year. For updates and things like that. And now that we know where that Grand National went, because I was going to ask you that, but now that we know where the Grand National went, we're going to look for that next year at least one of the shows here.
Well, I need a Power Master brake booster so I don't crash into anything. That's to keep it original. So that's kind of been my holdup of not driving it anywhere, though. So, all
right, you guys heard it. If anybody has a Power Master brake booster for an 87 Buick Grand National, let us know. We'd like to get her and her car here to the car show. So, all right, Erica, thank you very much. And thank you again for answering all our questions and bearing with us. And we hope to hear from you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks again for having me, and looking forward to the next time.
All right, sounds good. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, guys, on the phone with me, I have Joren from FX Window Tinting over in Oconomowoc. Joren, welcome to the podcast.
Glad to be here.
So, Joren, we've heard a lot about FX Window Tinting down there in Oconomowoc, mainly from Hot Rod Beth. But your name's really getting out there with a lot of the other Hot Rod guys. We were just talking a little bit before we came on here. You do a lot more than just window tint. Why don't you talk a little bit about the things that you offer?
Sure, absolutely. We do. I mean, we specialize in window tinting. That's where the company came from. That's what we started about 5 years ago. But we've expanded greatly into a lot of the automotive protection and customizing. So we specialize in window tinting, but we also do paint protection film, or PPF. We are a full expel dealer, so we're window tint, paint protection film, ceramic coating through and through.
Okay.
But we've also expanded into more of the customizing stuff, like suspensions for trucks. We've done air ride and a bunch of stuff like that as well. So.
Okay. So you mentioned ceramic coat. At work we do that every once in a while. I work at a dealership, and we do the ceramic coat every now and again. I think I'm pretty confident on how you do it, but why don't you tell everybody how How does ceramic coat differ from wax application?
Sure. So one of the big things is I like to sell ceramic coating. It's more of a permanent, or ceramic coatings are definitely more of a permanent wax. So it's much harder than your clear coat. It goes on. The best way to explain it is it's basically a thinner, harder clear coat going on your vehicle, and lasts much, much longer than a traditional wax. That's why it's so popular, especially with some of the older cars too. A lot of these guys, they know that they have to continually wax their vehicles. But when you get a brand new vehicle or have an older one and you don't want to keep putting all that maintenance into it, having to redo it all the time, ceramic coating definitely the way to go, because it lasts much longer. It's harder, which definitely helps prevent some scratches, stuff like that. But that's where you really get that hydrophobic surface, the water beading effect on your car.
One of the biggest things, and I think you would agree with me with ceramic coat especially, is in the summertime how easy the bugs come off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's definitely one of the biggest things. Even on motorcycles, that's a big one. Guys with bikes don't necessarily think about it all the time, but I mean, they're out there always riding the bikes and always having problems with all the bugs. Ceramic coating, definitely the way to go.
Sure. And then who would be the one for the paint protection film? Where do you think, who buys that the most? What buyer do you have that is the one that comes in for that the most?
Brand new vehicles. So lots of times, brand new vehicles, they don't have the rock chips in the paint already. They don't have big scratches or anything like that. So definitely brand new vehicles, that's where the paint protection film comes in. Ours has like a 10-year warranty on it, helps prevent the scratches, stuff like that. Plus what's really nice about the film as well is you don't have to wax it anymore. Ceramic coatings can go on top of it, but our PPF has a ceramic coating infused into it. So it's basically, you're kind of killing, two birds with one stone.
Right. Sounds like an awesome system. So let's just paint a picture here for everybody. So let's just say somebody brings I'm just going to say $1 million Ferrari to your shop, and they're pulling it with their truck and trailer, and you notice their truck is squatting quite a bit because of the trailer. Can you help them out with that?
Absolutely. So that's part of the suspension stuff that we do here at the shop. We do helper bags in the rear, which a lot of truck guys know what those are. They just don't know where to go to get them. There's not a lot of shops that offer that. But we do airbags in the rear, and we have a couple different options along with that. We can do right where you can control it even through your phone, which is amazing. So we can put in a little compressor underneath the truck, and it can raise and lower the rear. It's a safety concern. Once you get some of these really nice trailers, and they're pretty heavy, and when a truck is squatting, you're throwing the balance off the vehicle. So putting in helper bags is a huge benefit to it. So. And
then, do you put in full air suspension too? Did I catch that? Or
yep.
Okay.
Yep. We've done full air ride. Actually, we just did one about a month and a half, 2 months ago for Griffin Ford out in Waukesha. We actually did a full Maverick. We were one of the first ones in the area to do one, so that was pretty cool. Okay.
So I'm like saying, if somebody came in with like a 65 Chevy and they wanted to lay frame, you can do that too.
Yep.
Outstanding. Air ride, you see it more and more often at car shows. Guys really love it. The stance that the stance is correct. When it's parked, there's nothing better than a car that's just slammed on the ground when it's parked. I think that is one of the coolest looks that's out there.
It looks awesome.
Right. And then wheels and tires. You do wheels and tires. What brands do you carry, or can you get just about anything, or what are we talking about there?
So we can get pretty much anything. We're a huge fuel dealer. We're really closely connected with Custom Offsets and Fitment Industries out of Appleton and Illinois. So we do a lot with those guys, and we're a Wheel Pros dealer. Plus I have multiple other brands that I get through my business. So pretty much anything. We get some really cool retro ones, like the American Racing wheels. I know those are really popular, some of the classic guys.
Sure.
But we can get rotiforms. We could pretty much get anything. So
okay. And then what if I would need tires on just the daily driver grocery getter? Can we do that too?
We can do that too. Yes, sir.
It's like a full service shop there, damn near.
Pretty much. we're actually in the works of, pretty soon we're going to be expanding into that. We haven't quite announced it, but better now than late. We're working on having one of our shops turned into a full service center. So pretty cool little thing going on here.
Oh, absolutely. And the people out there, how was I going to say? So let me ask you this. This is something that's just been on my mind, and if you can't tell me, it's fine.
Sure.
But let's just, my truck right now is silver. I have a 23 Ram. It's silver. So like what would the average cost be if I wanted it red? I mean,
If you wanted a full truck red. So lots of times we sit down with a customer, we want to find the right red that you want. We have about 8 different brands of vinyl work. So we do full color change wraps, which is awesome. Another one of those really cool things with the classic guys where they like the two-tone, lots of times the top white or the top black, and then a colored base in their vehicle.
Sure.
If you brought in a Ram, you said it was?
Yes.
We'd probably be looking for a full color change. You're probably looking around $4,000.
Okay. That's a lot cheaper than painting. That's for sure.
That's right. And a lot quicker turnaround. So something like that, we can usually get done within 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
Lots of times, obviously going over whether it's got a bunch of chrome and we're going to wrap all the chrome or not, but we do a ton of chrome deletes as well. So lots of the big truck guys, chrome is a big thing, and, not dealerships offer it all the time that where it doesn't have all the chrome. So we do a ton of that as well.
Okay. So then how durable is that? I mean, if you put it on, will it last? How long will it last once it's on under normal use?
So typically under normal use, you're looking at 3 to 5 years. What's really nice about that is if it's not just a daily driver, it can last longer than that.
Of course.
Again with wraps, we can do PPF over top of it. So if you really wanted to make it last longer, we can put PPF on it. Lots of times guys get it wrapped. Then the impact zones, like on the front of the back fenders,
sure.
Around the wheel wells, rocker guards, we'll throw PPF over the wrap. But typically 3 to 5 years, there are ceramic coatings for it now as well, which can prolong the life of it. So
okay. And then just because tonight we have a state trooper on our show, the window tinting.
Yes, sir.
Do you run into problems with people when they tint too dark, or do you just do what people want and that's what they get, or how does that work? Or does it come with a disclaimer saying that this is too dark for the state? Or I'm just kind of curious
absolutely.
how that works.
Yeah, so we run a disclaimer. When people come into the shop, we have stuff posted in the lobby and everything. Plus, I believe it's on our website as well. If you go in there, you can find the legal tint laws for Wisconsin.
Sure.
It's kind of like one of those things where, people are doing big lift kits and stuff on their trucks. They're not always legal.
Right.
But it's not illegal necessarily for us to install it, but we want to make everyone aware, what is legal, what isn't legal. So, yeah, there's definitely that. We don't run into too many. I mean, we average, I want to say 30 to 40 cars a week. So we're tinting a lot of cars every single week. And it's maybe one person every few months that comes back and say, hey, unfortunately, I got to take it off. But we work with everyone here, and that's what people love too. So, but yeah, that's it's definitely one thing people should be aware that there are, legal limits and laws to the tint. And we try to follow that.
Anybody that watches any live police shows on TV knows that people get pulled over for tint all the time.
Yep.
All the time. So, Joren, if somebody wants to find, or Joren, I'm sorry. Joren, if somebody wants to find you, where do they find you?
So we are on Facebook. You can find us FX Window Tinting Oconomowoc on Facebook. We also have Instagram, which is FX Window Tint. We have TikTok as well, which I believe is FX Tint. And then the best thing, if you want the most information, is definitely our website. That is fxtint.com.
All right. Sounds good. And just going to give you the same opportunity to do everybody else. You guys always have a standing invitation to our Hot Rod Tuesday car shows that start on Cinco de Mayo in 2026 and go every other Tuesday through the summer. More than welcome to have you come out and, just kind of talk about what you do. I mean, it'd be great to have you out.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. We love all the car shows, and we definitely attend a lot of them, as many as we can. And that was how we got a hold of Deb, which is this last summer, which is great. So we look forward to it for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Joren, thanks so much for calling in, and hopefully we can get some people sent your way.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Okay, everyone, it has come time for Kyle. Kyle, what you got for us?
Well, this week and everything else we had on the show, I have only 4 of them for this week in history. Going back to 1868 for the first one, where Harvey Firestone was born. You know him from being the creator of Goodyear tires.
You know what'd be funny?
Firestone.
If he was born because of a broken rubber. All right, I'm done.
Drum roll. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
In 1914, 100 years after Johnny Horton's little trip, the Chevrolet 490 was announced, and that was the first competition to the Ford Model T. The 490 was on sale for, guess how much?
Brand new car, what year?
In 1914.
I'm going to say it was $585.
No, $21.99.
Being the Chevy 490, it was $490.
Oh, you were close.
Yeah.
No,
Damn
the price was
car
right. You would have
salesman.
lost. But
Yeah. Went over the actual retail price.
yeah. And then 1931, more local here, the Kissel Motor Car Company from Hartford was liquidated. And some of the most famous cars they had being the Gold Bug Speedsters, which Amelia Earhart and other celebrities like to drive around. But in 1931, 93 years, so it'll be 94 years ago, the Kissel Company was liquidated.
So you ever been to that museum in Hartford? The old car museum?
No. Drove past it many times, but
So-
never stopped.
It's also I suppose the unofficial Kissel Museum.
And also the Short Track Hall of Fame for our
Short
area.
Track Hall of Fame is up there too. The Kissels in there, my God. I mean, they were, the way I would explain it, like when my dad was little, he'd say if somebody drove by in a Cadillac, he'd be like, cool, man, look at that. Because Cadillacs had, the V12, the V16, and all these other big things. I think the Kissels were right on par with the Packard, where people that had money had Cadillacs, people that were rich had Kissels and Packards and things like that. These cars they're just so cool and so far ahead of their time. So you guys ever get a chance, and hopefully we can get down there sometime too as for part of the podcast. Check out that
do a podcast up there. It'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, check out the old car museum there in Hartford. It's definitely worth your while.
Big old train in there too, and a lot of neat stuff. In 1945, the last thing we have for this week, there is a car accident on December 9th of 45. So this is not yet for this week. That's getting there. On December 9th, 1945 in Germany, General Patton was in a car accident that paralyzed him. And then on this day in 45, he was still in the hospital after being paralyzed, and he died of heart failure. So he was paralyzed from that car crash, but died of heart failure at 60 years old on this day in 1945. That's General Patton.
Tough old son of a bitch that he was. He had our old neighbor Paulie here Paulie's passed away, but he was part of Patton's army, and he told us stories about what it was like.
So this was loosely car related, but hey, why not? Throw in the general.
Yeah, old blood and guts, and he says his guts are blood. I think that was one of the things that Paul used to talk about.
Yeah, I think he was the general that the Germans feared the most.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. One of the in the movie, I know the movie isn't going to be the same as real life, but it just kind of put everything into perspective. Is Rommel, you son of a bitch? I read your book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I think you're right though. I think the Germans did worry a lot about where Patton was and what he was doing, because he was kicking their ass from Africa all the way up to Berlin.
Well, they used Patton as a decoy. They had him in England with the make-believe army.
Yeah.
And the Germans thought, this is where the invasion's coming from.
Yep.
And it wasn't. So, yeah, they really thought Patton would be spearheading it.
Well, speaking of movies that involve World War II, this is also not at all car related, but it's
Sure
just
it is.
a fun one.
There's got to be a Jeep in there somewhere.
I'm sure there is. But this one's from Charlie Chaplin. He was famous for all of his silent movies in the 20s and that era. But in 1940, he had the movie called The Great Dictator, where he was a parody of Adolf Hitler.
I saw that.
And there's some
I've
speeches
heard of
in there
that,
that
yeah.
are really funny. I first saw that at the Holocaust Museum in D.C.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
I watched more of it. It's funny.
Yep.
So if you have a chance to see Charlie Chaplin actually talking, and he got to play the guy that used the Chaplin mustache and turned it into the Hitler mustache.
Sure.
So it was a fun movie.
All right. So, guys, that'll wrap that up for the history. And coming up next, we're going to have the Buzz with Beth. All right. Coming to us from the highways and byways of southeast Wisconsin, it is Hot Rod Beth. Beth, what do you know today?
I know that I'm traveling. I can't believe it's 34 degrees. Yesterday it was minus 15.
Yeah.
This weather has just been crazy.
Yeah, it's been so cold. My nuts thought they were ovaries for a while, I think.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
not good.
Yeah, they were tucked.
they make heated underwear, you know.
Well, I don't think I'd want that either. That would make things even worse.
God, that's a visual I can't get out of my head now. Oh.
Do you like it, Al? Do you like it?
No.
Yeah, the T-shirts though would be great because just have T-shirts. They ask me about my hot wiener.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
we'll stop there because whatever.
Yeah, stop
Family
there.
show. Yeah.
Anyway,
Stop about
Good
2
idea.
minutes ago.
all
Anyways,
right.
are you guys ready for Christmas?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just another day.
Al, didn't you ask for any kind of car parts to help you put your shit back together?
No, I did not.
Yeah, perhaps you should ask Santa.
Yeah, well,
Get some of those little people to help you out.
I think I burnt my bridges with Santa a long time ago.
Oh, I'm afraid to ask why. This year.
How's that reindeer
This
tasting?
year. Oh no. That's why. Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Nothing like reindeer backstraps.
On Comet, on Cupid, on Dot. God damn it, Al. Yeah, Chet had to take his place.
Right.
Okay,
right.
anyway.
So yeah, I mean things are far and few in between. The only thing I really have going on now is the bowling event on January 10th at Sussex Bowl. Need to reach out to me. I'm looking for car enthusiasts. I'm looking for car clubs to compete. We're going to have some trophies. It's a chili dump, so you bring a pint of chili, either mild or hot. We dump that into the Nescos together, and we're going to do a lot of fun bowling for a few hours, have a couple drinkies, and just
right.
all get together and have some fun.
Yeah, because
That, and then I've got, go ahead.
these winter months suck. So yeah, anything we can do to get together with the car people makes the winter a little more bearable.
Absolutely. Al, Kyle, we'd love to have you come down and represent Hot Rod Tuesday. That would be very cool.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, put me on your calendar. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, I will have pictures and stuff, and we'll see what we can line up. Going to the National Roadster Show at the end of January in Pomona, California.
That is one show that's on
So-
my bucket list. I'd love to see that one.
I'm so excited because now I'll have an opportunity to be outside for a full day because we don't have, the Amber Awards and stuff like that will be going on, but we'll have a little more time to interview people and talk to people, and I'm super pumped. And the weather should be a little bit nicer than it is here. is what
Yeah,
I'm
well,
thinking.
yeah, with any luck. And I can tell you that we went to Chicago to World of Wheels last year, and the Amber winner, which is America's Most Beautiful Roadster, and the Riddler Award, which is given out at all the World of Wheels shows, were sitting side by side when you first walked in. And the Amber winner was like, holy shit, nice. And that was Troy Trepanier, I think, built that
Troy
one.
Trepanier, yep, sure was.
But
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to talk to when we were out there. And last year was the 50-year anniversary, so that was really cool.
sure.
But this next year should be exciting. And I guess from what I'm told, that you only get to bring your car out there one time to qualify for the Amber, and then you're re-invited back in if you're a winner.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps from everybody looking at the same cars year after year after year.
Right, exactly. So, like I said, I'm pretty pumped, pretty
Yeah.
excited. And then February, of course, we'll have our World of Wheels, and
Yep, and then
things
the
like that,
season starts
so-
picking up. Once you get to World of
Yes.
Wheels, then it's kind of like a downhill slide. You start seeing more and more stuff pop up, and then you
Exactly.
know the season's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So I guess with that, we're gonna have to talk about the.
wait,
Oh,
before,
jeez, Christ, hold on.
before-
Okay, scared the
sorry,
shit out of me.
I'm sorry. Before we get to Al, because I'm so excited to hear what he's got to say tonight.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I can't wait. I just want to throw it out there because we're early enough that if people are starting to plan or they want to have a car show somewhere, they're looking to do a charity car show, Foxview Lanes is available. That venue is available, and we have parking for over 200 cars. So it's just a thought. If somebody needs a venue, reach out to me. We can always make that happen too. Kind of talking about that the other day. And I've got 3 or 4 already shows booked, but would love to help out with your charity.
Okay.
So that's
Right.
what I got. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Are you on rumble strips or do you need a muffler?
No, I'm fine. Why? Is it really loud?
It was there for a second, but
We heard somebody sound like they were driving away from
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh,
But
it could have been the pickup truck next to me. But
Yeah.
oh, that could be. All right. Sorry, I blew up. All right, Al. What do you got for us this
Well,
week?
for people
wait.
that don't know, where is that? Where is that bowling alley, Beth?
where is which bowling alley?
The Foxview Lanes.
Foxview Lane is in Waukesha, off of Sunset Drive.
Keisha?
Waukesha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waukesha.
So yeah, guys, if you're down in that southeast Wisconsin area, check out the Foxview Lanes. Give Beth a call if you want to have a car show there. It's a great venue.
Yeah. And then don't forget about Sussex Bowl's chicken.
Oh yeah, the chicken.
Oh my God, we almost forgot to talk about the chicken.
No, I didn't forget about the chicken. We'd have brought the chicken up
Okay.
eventually because it's just that good.
Excellente.
Yeah.
All right, give us Al.
Are you ready?
We are ready.
All right. I was at work today. Got a phone call from a coworker. He says, Al, how's your computer? Is it working? I said, yeah, computer's fine. Doing everything it has to do. He says, well, my computer just went down on me. I said, really? What key do you push to make that happen?
Oh,
my
God.
goodness.
That sucks. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my goodness. Al, I tell you.
Yep.
I'm going to have to use that one, though.
Never a dull moment with Al.
Press the
Yep, that's
escape
for
key
sure.
here pretty soon.
Escape key? I'm going to try that.
All right, guys. That's going to about wrap it up for this show. But remember, if you like this show, make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, do all the things like that. And
And we're not just on Facebook, also on Instagram and TikTok. Just look for the Hot Rod Tuesday or the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
And YouTube.
And YouTube too, yes.
Woo,
Yep.
woo, woo. Very nice.
All over the place.
all over the place. Yep. And like I said, if you guys want to give us any kind of insight or questions, concerns, or whatever, you can message the Hot Rod Tuesday page. You can email us at hotrodtuesdaypodcast@gmail.com. Or you can send me a text at 920-306-1411. And we will answer you but as soon as we can. But like I said, just send us anything that you want us to talk about or anything like that. We're more than happy to we're more than happy to be accommodating to do what we can. Like we said, this is just as much your show as it is ours. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. But with that, we'll talk to you guys next week.